Good evening, good evening. Here we are for a roll reveal. This one is number 856, 1942, Philadelphia roll. I've not been through this roll. I'll tell you it's full though. A lot of nice double die reverses and double die obverses to be found. So we're good to get started. Let's plug it in with coin number 1 for Kurt Pierce. See what we got for Kurt. Things kind of focused in just right there. We have found double dies in many different corners of 1942 cents. This one looks like it could be a doubled eyelid here. Let's see. Nothing else on the obverse that I can see. Hey, Carl. See the reverse. Now, the reverse of the 1942 cent is rather unique in that it has a number of class 4 double dies for the reverse that is kind of very unusual for Lincoln cents, especially wheat cents. So, of course, we're going to be looking for that. Sloppy stacks. Yeah, it's kind of quiet this evening. I don't think people are generally used to me starting reveals this late in the evening, but I like being able to do things for the West Coast people once in a while. Give the Pacific time zone a break. Not have them trying to watch reveals during the middle of the day while they're supposed to be working. So I give it in once in a while and come in and do one in the evening. Hello, DC. Good evening to you, sir. Looking for any one of the number of different and unusual double die reverses. This is a double die reverse right here. So our second coin, you can see it on the E there, and E pluribus, and on the dot. It's not very strong, but it is a class 6 double die. Here it is in the middle of the U. Kind of see it there. Let me bring the lighting up just a little bit for this. There we go. Yeah, you can definitely see it on the U's of Unum. It's a little die crack right there. It's going to serve as a nice marker. I don't see it anywhere else. You see a little bit of it here on the bottom half of the wheat. But it's not very obvious down there. But we do have a nice double die. Hey, Taco John. There is Dirty Water. We have a double die reverse class 6 for coins and ghouls. Let's move on. Coin number 3. Now for Ant. There could be any sorts of anything in this roll. I have no idea. I just saw it as a relatively clean looking roll and decided to, well, do a reveal on it. Why not? All right, nothing obverse side on this one. How about the reverse? Don't see anything special on the reverse on this coin. Let me back out a little bit, make it a little easier to read the map here. Hey, Dirty Water, how are things going with you? Having a decent day here. Working on separating myself from social media. It's been a rough day for social media. Number 4, Doug. I've just lost interest in social media altogether. I think it's toxic. So I'm having a trouble justifying any time spent there. Nice big old grease-filled die here. That's why the U in trust is completely missing. And that's why the area, there's a big glob area that is very shiny. That is because there was grease packed into that part of the die when the coin was struck. Dirty Water, the what is it? User ZG2SL2PZ6K, that's DC. Need to show DC how to change his username. Yeah, see, I don't really see YouTube as social media. I don't know. I mean, maybe some people have a different way of looking at social media as far as what is and what isn't. But YouTube, to me, is it's a semi-educational platform where people can actually use it for good. Of course, any number of people can also use it for bad. But the only problem with YouTube is it often gets overcrowded and bandwidth drops. And there are way too many trolls and very hardcore idiots on YouTube, making videos they shouldn't be or doing things they shouldn't be on other people's videos. Other than that, it's fine, but places like Facebook is just full of trolls and not so good people. And people who think they know everything and don't hardly know anything. And then the people who do know a lot are basically ignored by the people who don't. I always knew that it was going to be a difficult place to establish one's self. And I'm right about that because there is no way to... There is no badge for someone who actually is a subject expert. Yeah, I mean, you've got group experts, but any admin can make anybody else a group expert. My past, my experience would teach that only people who know what they're doing with regard to handling people and handling the subject of the group should be moderators or admin people, and everyone else is not. And one or more of your admin people can be group experts, meaning that they are subject experts. And I see that moniker used way too much for people who don't know anything. So, yeah, I've kind of decided that I want to separate myself completely from the social media. And now I understand why all of the other guys that I know who are book authors or subject experts or really know what they're doing, they separate themselves from it as well. And I know why now. Because it's too full of toxic trolls and not full enough of people who are actually decent and want to learn. You just realized there was a YouTube auction channel. Not really sure I know what you're talking about. Still looking for our first decent double die obverse. We've got one that could possibly have been a doubled eye, but it wasn't very much. Oh, okay, I understand now. I do plan on continuing to sell until I sell out of all of the coins I have. My focus and time will henceforth be spent working on the coppercoins.com website. Can always be reached via email. I will continue to operate my username on Facebook Messenger. So anyone who wants to ask me any questions or let me know something can hit a message request to me, send me a message, and I will be able to basically acknowledge you, and you'll be able to have a conversation with me. Here's Evolution Revolution. Hey, Frosty. Good evening to you, sir. I was just telling all my fine people here that I'm pretty much ready to exit altogether from Facebook. It has become a toxic burden, and I just don't want to be there anymore. Mickey. Yeah, I was seeing a little bit of fattening on the 9, thinking maybe we had a double die there, but I can actually justify the double die in a different spot. The 9 is a little fat, but we also have, if I can figure out how to make them show up under this lighting. There we go. It's getting better. They're on the outer edge of the 2. And the outer edge of the 4, that's not machine doubling, that is a double die. So aside from a slightly fat 9, we also have doubling on the outside edge of the 4 and the 2 in the date. And I don't see anything else, but that is a double die. Hello, Mama Shoe. Haven't seen you in a long time. Roger Borland. Don't see anything here yet. But we'll flip to my Lou and take a look at the reverse. See what shows up there. There are a few different double dies that are pretty unique to the 1942 Lincoln Cent that I would love to find uncirculated examples of. I've never seen one in uncirculated. All the ones I have ever seen are circulated to different amounts of wear. Hey, Aunt. Good evening to you. Got 2 reveals coming up tonight. This one, 1942 Philadelphia, and then my next one's going to be, I believe, a 1959 D. I don't remember exactly. It'll be this one and whatever number 857 is. Kind of skipping around just a little bit to see different little bits and pieces of the design. minted into the coin so I can see if there's any doubling in it. Nothing on this coin. Number 15, Tim Weber. Brian Johnson, good day to you, sir. At some point in the next year to 2 years, I would love to have myself in a position where most of the work that I'm doing is for other people, for you, on coppercoins.com. I would like to take myself to a position where I am not doing live broadcasting, rather taking care of the website and taking care of people's coins that come in for attribution. That's where I would like to go. I cannot possibly do that while I'm doing this. Just not enough time in a week. But once I can get rid of most of my overburden of coins and rolls and bags, I can start concentrating a little bit more on organizing for reveals and for justifying reveals by having a completed website that's worthy of the time and effort to continue building it and working on it. I know you guys say that Copper Coins is currently there, but it isn't. Not close. I would love to bring myself to a point where I'm not creating and receiving packages of stuff to figure out what to do with every day, every week. Well, thank you, Mama Shu. And I'm done with that one. Wouldn't happen to have Satins 05 to 10 loose or tubes straight from sets. I may have a few. Not many, and I remember you asking that question about 6 months ago. And I don't think I had them then, and I haven't acquired any since then. But I may have a few around somewhere. I just don't know where. Got a lot of things on the boilerplate to knock out first. Roger. Nice woody. Bit of toning on this. Actually, it isn't a woody, it's just toned. Found a nice 47 FS 101. That's the double die obverse. Nice and big one. That's one that Shinbone got a hold of out of a reveal roll. Sent it into PCGS and got a 66 red on it. That's over $1,000 coin pulled from one of the Copper Coins reveals. So if I wasn't an honest guy, you never would have seen that coin. But I don't look through any of this stuff before I pull it out of here. Anything we find tonight's going to be a surprise to me. Comments to videos, yes. You can add comments to videos. They have to be published first, which means you can't do a comment. I don't think you can do a comment while a stream is live. But once the stream publishes as a quote-unquote past video, there's another one of our little double dies there that show on the outside edge of the 4 and the 2, and the 9 is a little thick. Once they post as a video on the channel, you can leave comments on them. Who? I'm seeing doubling here now. Doubling on the reverse. In this lower part here. I see it on the bottom of the E down here. And I can see it on the corners of the A. And then down here, this extra thick edge. Let's see if we have a continuation of this going up toward the top. Yeah, we do. We do. So this one is a double die reverse. Pretty nice one too. So this one's got the reverse and it's got that pretty decent obverse. Belongs to Chuck Daughtrey. Let me go back to coin number 12. This one was for Mickey. Let me see if we have a double die reverse on here. We do not. So that means that this double die right there is different from the double die on coin 22 because the reverses don't match. All right, here we go. Nutter peanut butter sandwich. Nothing on the obverse. And on the reverse side, where are you? There we are. I don't see anything here. Nothing down there. I've got a sinus issue going on. Sorry about that. It's got to do with fall pollen or something like that. Maybe dust. We haven't had much rain at all lately. That's why my throat is all kind of plugged up a little bit. Okay, so this double die reverse matches that second coin that I pulled. So we've got the double die reverse, we've got the double die obverse, and then we've got both. So that's kind of how that's working out. This should match coin number 2. Yeah, I'm sure it does. Let me get a marker off of this and go check. Heck, why not just take the marker from the obverse, right? Let's see. Let's find something here that makes us a marker. Not really finding much of anything. Nope. Wow, I guess that's one we'll end up leaving to Eric. I'm unable to locate a good marker right now. There we go. Little die gouge between the top of the O and top of the D of God. Now we'll go back to this one. Oh, wrong side. There it is. It's up there. Right there. Little gouge between the top of the O and the top of the D. So that matches up. So Ant's coin number 24 is going to be the same die as number 2 for Coins and Ghouls. All right, trip wit. Takes a little practice, Brian. It really does. You just kind of got to have a used to looking at it attitude, and you're used to looking at it, and this looks different. So what looks different? Oh, well, that's what looks different. Well, why is it different? Well, okay, this is why it's different. That's the kind of mental attitude that I have while I'm doing this. Nothing strange here. All right, halfway through the roll now. Coin number 26, Taco John. What do we have? Nothing on the obverse. And nothing on the reverse. So normal coin. Next coin up is for Carl. So back to Carl again. I like being able to find the goodies that we can list, regardless of whether I end up with one. They get listed. That makes copper coins have a little more strength in overall number, which gives us a better percentage of completeness than another resource that does not have as many dies listed. Another one from Mickey. Let's see what we got. Nothing on the obverse. Nothing on the reverse, so this one's a normal coin. Number 29, Kurt Pierce. Nothing on the obverse. This coin's brighter than some of these others. And nothing on the reverse. Ah, Zeke, thank you. Thank you for the update. We're having mail issues in the country right now. I'm not going to elaborate because I have nothing nice to say, but our postal service is falling behind. And you know what that means. Get to go through another winter season of where is my package. Nothing there. Let's do coin number 31 now for Sissy. Nothing there. Coin number 32. I go to Doug Rizak. Let's see what we have. Nothing jumping out. Let's see for the reverse. Nothing jumping out there either. Let's try coin number 33. Back to Carl. And not seeing much here either. Got a bunch of mid to late die state coins in this roll. Rather standard pressure and striking these as I've seen. The O of 1 is generally complete on this issue, and they are as such on this one. Not sure why these are coming out in different colors. We've got bright red, we've got almost a white red, and then we've got a couple of few coins that have come out almost brown. Perhaps maybe a mixed roll. Coin 35 now. Coins and ghouls. Pretty normal there. Now number 36. Nothing on that side. Nothing there either. Well, coin number 37. Let's take a look for Carl. I will be moving directly into the next reveal. Of course, because they are separate shows, we're going to have to exit and come back in. So we exit here and go into the other broadcast. But I will be entering that as soon as I get finished with this one. And we'll do these two tonight, and then I'll have one more roll to do over the weekend. Actually, I've got 4 more rolls. So yeah, I'll have 3 more rolls over the weekend. Probably get 2 of them done tomorrow and 1 of them on either Saturday or Sunday. Nothing on that coin. Let's keep trying. Taco John. Nothing there. I've noticed a trend lately on YouTube and on Facebook, mostly Facebook, posts about the winter outlook as if it's going to change because people talk about it. And I don't understand how it is that anyone can claim to be able to tell you anything about the weather more than 3 days in advance, because they generally don't even get the next 3 days right. Well, just a light for proofs, you turn it way down. We will have a proof roll coming up this next week. Be a 1957 proof roll. That'll come up for sale on Monday. And those rolls will be done over a period of 2 weeks. Tuesday after Thanksgiving, I'm planning on a large auction. So it won't be this coming Tuesday, but the following. You know, it doesn't matter who you're listening to with regard to future climatology reports. They're all different, and they're all wrong. Yet there are people all over the place commenting on these things as if they are forecasting the truth. And it's mind-boggling how anyone could be so dumb. I guess while we're on it with the weather, I also have a real hard time with the news channels or local channels or whatever giving you the forecast temperatures for tonight, tomorrow, whatever, and they're going to be a bit chilly. So what they do, instead of the temperature, they're going to tell you what the feels like temperature will be, which is complete and total hogwash. They try nailing a number on the temperature combined with the wind, or in the summer, the temperature combined with the humidity. They say, well, the high temperature will only be 97 degrees, but it'll be a feels like 110. So take shelter. Yeah. From 97 degrees, because the 110 you're reporting means nothing. Same thing with wind chill. It's 41 degrees outside with a 40-mile-an-hour wind. That's a wind chill of -5. I don't care how cold you want to report the wind chill to be. If the air temperature is not below 33 degrees, you can't freeze water. So thus you can't freeze blood. So don't tell me what the feels like temperature is. Just report the damn news. I'm a cranky old bastard, right? I could be viewed as such, I guess. Oh, there's a UFO headed toward us? I can guarantee you it's not coming to engage with us unless it's to just eradicate us. Because any intelligent life form would not want to have anything to do with the Earth. But Mike, why don't they just report the temperature? Why are they trying to lie to you and tell you that it's colder than it actually is? The air temperature, the wet bulb temperature is all that matters. Well, it's a dry bulb. The dry bulb, the difference between the wet bulb and the dry bulb is your barometric pressure. Just tell me, is a low temperature going to be below 33 degrees? Do I need to put a cover over my dog's water? And then how low below 32 and for how long? If it's going to be 26 degrees, I can't do anything about the dog's water except put it in a heated dish. But you tell me it's 41 degree low temperature and we're going to have a 30 mile an hour wind, which will make the wind chill minus 10. I don't care. It's not the temperature. Yep, you can add some salt and lower the freezing point. Then make it so the dogs won't drink it at all. Dogs don't like salt water. Humans are the only people dumb enough to ingest salt. Well, other than deer and cattle. I know, everybody, everything needs salt. Not anywhere near as much as humans ingest. We generally get 10 times our necessity of salt each day in our normal daily diet. All you have to do is eat a bag of potato chips and you'll have 10 times the salt you need. MSG is what the Chinese have to put in the food, so we'll eat it. And can anybody answer this question? You remember when we were kids back in the 70s and 80s, and you'd go out in the backyard, and you'd find little white piles of dog poop all over the yard? Or the neighbor's yard or whatever, but the dog poop would turn white when it sat outside for a while. Why doesn't it do that anymore? We are going to be short by 1 coin. I did not think this roll was short, but it is by 1 coin. But we're going to fix that. I have another 1942 roll sitting here. I'm going to steal a coin from it. Give that to whomever number 50 is. Well, sure, people are picking up poop, but I'm not picking up any poop from my backyard, and it never turns white. Poly. All right, well, I've got this roll right here. This is a 1942 roll, I think. Yeah, it says 42p. It's got a lot of tape on it, so it's going to take me a little while to get into it. I think it's got something to do with something they're putting in dog food that didn't used to be in dog food. I don't know what. All right, here's Polly's coin. I just plopped it out of the middle of this other 42 roll here. Let's see what Polly gets. Yeah, it's a little crusty. Maybe it's got goodies. Let's check the reverse for goodies. What do you say? No goodies. Had bummer. All right. Hey, Angie, how you doing? Angie, here's what you do. You back out of this. You go over to Reveal 857, and wait for us there, because I am just about finished here. So we got 3 different dies, 4 coins total of double dies in this 42 roll. Join me back here in just a few minutes, and I will get started preparing reveal number 857, and I'll do it while we are live. See you then.